Hi friends, let's talk about global functions. Global functions have four possible contexts: address, block, transaction, and message. We'll go through each of the four in some detail. First, we have the address context. Any variable of the data type address can use the global functions that are defined in the address context. The built-in functions defined in the address context are as follows. First, we have balance. The balance function returns the balance of the address in way. For an address myContract, the function call is defined as myContract.balance. So we'll have myContract.balance with a semicolon, of course. This will return the balance of my contract in way. The return type is uint 265. Next up is the transfer function. The transfer function sends the given amount of way from the current account to the address mentioned. If you want to send X amount of way from the current account to an address myContract, then the function call looks like this. We have myContract.transfer, and it's a function, and inside we have a uint 265, which we call X, and then we close it with a semicolon. The problem with the transfer function is that if an error occurs during the transaction, then the transaction will fail. Next up, we have the send function. The send function sends the given amount of way from the current account to the address mentioned. If you want to send X amount of way from the current account to an address myContract, then the function call looks like this. myContract.send. It's a function. Inside, as before, we have a uint 265, which we call X, and of course, close with a semicolon. The return type of the send function is bool, so it's a boolean. And whenever a transaction encounters an error, the send function returns false. Based on this, an appropriate action can be taken. This is what differentiates the send function from the transfer function. And finally, we have three lesser used functions: call, static call, and delegate call. These are low-level functions. These functions don't go through checks by the Solidity compiler, and so it is advised not to use them unless absolutely necessary. The call and static call functions work in a similar manner as the transfer or send functions. However, delegate call works differently. If A invokes B, who makes a delegate call to C, then the message.sender in the delegate call will be A, not B. In this way, we can preserve the original sender of the message. All these low-level functions take bytes as input, and the return type is a combination of the Boolean and bytes data types.